Well, happy Saturday, folks. The real Captain Kirk here. We're live from One Bethlehem Plaza here on the 18th of July. It is a cooler day here for sure. In the 70s, rain. You can see the smoke here, though. Still got some smoke, and then the rain moved in. So it will wash out this mess here. But let's go back to Thursday here. This was Thursday. Clear day here in the Lehigh Valley of eastern Pennsylvania. And you can see the sun setting there, but it was a dark, thick, smoky day, again, from all the Canadian wildfires. You could actually taste the smoke. It was so thick. So air quality was actually the worst in decades. Thought we'd ask Sunny here about these, any chance for rain here, because we got two huge fires up in Canada here. So chart left got two things we're contending here with the Sahara dust coming into the U.S. So South Central's not got smoke, but they got dust coming in. Again, traversing the entire Atlantic, coming in over the next 10 days. Map here right is the fires. There's one huge fires, again, up in many fires actually in the Northwest Territories, far northern Canada, up near the Arctic Circle. The big one here then too is just in southern Ontario, just north of the Minnesota-Wisconsin areas. Again, but we've had a perfect northwest flow, literally all the way from the Northwest Territories through Ontario, bringing that smoke into the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Great Lakes. So again, many areas here this past few days have had just, again, some of the worst air quality in decades, again, because of all this thick smoke. So thought we'd ask Sunny here about the rain here for the chances across Canada. Good news is Canada as a whole, this is crazy. Number one wettest in 41 years here over the latter half of July. So map left is the rainfall amounts, and map right here is the rainfall versus average. So it's close. Those fires in Ontario are just on the edge of the really heavy, much above average rainfall, and the ones in the Northwest for sure more in that heavy rainfall. Let's hope this puts it out and cleans up our air here in the U.S. here, at least for the next month or so. We'll see. Wildfires here in the U.S., though, are pretty bad, too, here. So we're at, as of 17 July, we've got about 40,058 active wildfires. That's the most in 10 years. In terms of acres burned here, the chart here, again, we're at about 3.7 million acres versus 2.6 million acres burned last year. So that's well above average, 28% above average, 41% more than last year. Unfortunately, again, I'm going to get some rain and thunderstorms in the west, again, but that rain and thunderstorms actually creates lightning. So it doesn't do much to help. The big timber fires are really hard to put out. You really need snowstorms to completely squash these timber type fires. Wildfires are a different scenario if they're just brush fires. But again, big timber take a lot of rain and a lot of snow to ultimately put them out. Looking at drought status here as of 14 July, 66% of the country still in drought phases, most in 4 years, well above average. Good news is we made improvement since April. 1 April, we were at 80%. So a slow, steady decline here. Pretty soon, though, we're going to be talking about wet pattern across the U.S. You're already seeing that in Texas and Missouri and areas, again, so southeast, again, has gone from droughts to extremely wet. So again, that wet will be the theme here as we go through this really strong, potentially record strong El Nino that's developing. Last week here, ending today, 18 July here in the U.S. is 1.6 warmer than last year for the week, warmest in 7 years, second warmest in 41 years, so much above average. Hot 90-degree days down last week, up this week, up 16% versus last year, most in 7, fifth most in 41, and dry, 21% drier than last year, driest in 4 years, about average on a national scale. Cooler trends were pretty much, big map here is trends versus last year, but cooler trends along the East Coast, South, even the Pacific Northwest was technically cooler than last year. Map since I left are the trends versus average here. So this is kind of a good consumable categories. Excuse me. So again, vegetables, again, maybe not lettuce, but fruits and vegetables, cold beverages, pool chemicals, those types of consumable categories tend to do well when it's, again, hotter, drier pattern. Really still hot there in UK. Europe finally got wet, but still third warmest, and really hot there in India, number one warmest. So again, a hot week for sure. Look at severe weather here. We had a little bit of a lull here this week. We only had about 37 tornadoes, 36 hail events, 419 wind events. That's way down from last week. But overall, the trends are generally trending below last year's level. Again, most are trending above average for tornadoes and wind cases. We look at this severe weather this week. We're getting, again, some severe weather potential here in the east, but mostly just the heavy rain. We'll take it, again, to wash out this smoke and pollution, again, so it will hopefully help put out the fires that are out there and also alleviate this smoke, at least for a few days after this clears out here. Sunday looks like a nice day here in the east. Cool, sunny, blue sky, not milky sky. And again, that severe weather threat will shift more toward the, again, kind of where they need it, up in the upper Midwest. Let's hope that gets into Ontario, Canada, put out those fires there here earlier this coming week. There's a weak tropical system here. Hurricane Center's watching here, about 30% chance of development here off the western coast of Florida. Canadian models, some of the models show it developing maybe to a very weak tropical storm at best. Most don't show it doing anything other than bringing some moderate rain to the southeast. If it did get named, again, unlikely would be number 2, and that would be Bertha. Look at this week again, week ending. Hard to believe we're talking about the end of July here, 19 through 25 July. So a little bit cooler here nationally, 0.2 cooler than last year. Still 13th warmest, but again, the cool trends there in the east, the Great Lakes. Map here is now trends versus average. Small map is trends versus last year. So the eastern half of the country generally cooler. Hot days down about 11% nationally, still 16th most. And rainfall again down 13% drier than last year, driest in 10. A little bit drier weather there for Texas. They'll take it after all the extreme flooding that they had there in parts of West Texas. Map since it left there is the trend precip versus average. Looking at next week here again, back to school. So might be thinking your last vacations here because the kids in the south and parts of the southeast and west, early mid-August, they're going back to school. So that's, again, week ending 1 August here. So get that last vacation in here. Here in the southeast, again, is kind of the wet spot. But nationally, a warmer trend. We see that heat shifting out of the northwest, moving back into the central plains, kind of where the heat dome will be anchored here in pretty much the plains. Nationally, 1.8 warmer than last year, 6 warmest in 41 years. Hot days still down 3%, but the 16th most in 41 years. And rainfall again down 16%, driest in 5 years. So again, the wet spot will be there in the Tennessee Valley. Again, probably where they don't need much more rain. A little bit there in the southeast. Again, some of this may be that tropical influence. But again, wet theme is more toward the eastern third of the country here. And just aggregating these world tweak trends, the overall theme would be kind of cold there in Alaska, far northwest Canada, southeast, east U.S. is a cool spot. Northern Europe, really cool. Western Europe, warm. Western half, actually 2/3 of the U.S., pretty hot. And again, big map here is trends versus last year, and map inset left is the trend versus average. Look at world 2-week precipitation here, again, through the 1 August period here. So general theme is maybe wetter in the southeast. Again, wetter than average in parts of the Rocky Mountains, but again, that's not a ton of rain. But again, unfortunately, that rain is high-based thunderstorms, and you can get a lot of lightning with that, and that can just lead to more fires because the rain really can't do much, when it's that light to put out big forest-type timber fires. So that, folks, again, don't forget you can get this email blog video in your inbox every Saturday, every weekend. So weathertrends360.com/newsletter/captains-log. Subscribe. So with that, folks, we hope you have a great week ahead, and we will talk to you again this time next week.